So here's the big question. How are entrepreneurs like us, who have been hustling and struggling to make it to success, who seem to make it one step forward only to fall two steps back, who are dedicated, determined, and driven, how do we finally break through and win? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Brian Kelly, and this is the Mind, Body, Business Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mind, Body, Business Show. We have a phenomenal show lined up for you tonight. I cannot wait. Oh my goodness, the energy from this woman is incredible. It's amazing, as is she. She is coming on very, very soon. Who is she? She is Michele Swinick. She is an amazing, amazing young woman who has got an incredible radio show of her own. And I've actually had the luxury and the privilege of being a guest on it already. And I got to tell you, she's amazing with a capital A. Soon we will be bringing her on, I promise. The Mind, Body, Business Show. What is that all about? For those of you that have not been on this show, watching or listening, it is about what I call the 3 pillars of success. And in my now 57 years on this planet, I spent a good 10 of those studying only successful people. I wanted to find out what was it about them that got them greater success than, say, someone like me. Did they put on their clothes differently? Did they do different things that magically made them more successful? And the answer is no, there's nothing magical, but there are patterns. And the cool thing is 3 patterns emerged, and they are the very title of this show. Mind being mindset. To each individual, they have a very powerful and, more importantly, more flexible mindset. They're flexible. They can change gears and change direction on a dime. And that's from the mind standpoint. And then there's body. That's literally about taking care of one's own body nutritionally and physically through that 4-letter word called exercise. Yeah, I know. You math whizzes will get me on that one. And then there's business. Business is so multifaceted. So the thing is, to create a successful business and then to grow it into even a more successful business, one must master a myriad of different skill sets that are required to do that. There are things like, skill sets like sales, marketing, team building, systematizing, leadership. I could go on for quite some time, and I will spare you. The thing is, to master any one skill set is like being an expert, and being an expert, of all you astute folks out there, you've probably read that the average time it takes to become an expert in any one area is around 10,000 hours. And that's the same with mastering the skill set. The good news is you don't have to master them all. Not even all the ones I mentioned. In fact, just one. And it was one of those that I mentioned. If you master just one skill set, then you are pretty much set to then master your business going forward. And that one skill set is the skill set of leadership. Once you have mastered that skill set, you now have the skills in place to bring in those people that already have mastered the skill sets you have yet to master. And now you may never have to. You can spend your time building your business instead of working on getting better and refining each skill set. And then you can grow your business faster. And so this show is all about bringing on phenomenal entrepreneurs like Michele to help you, to give you those secrets, those little tidbits that you're like, oh my goodness, if I employ that one strategy or that one tip, I can really take off. That is the whole purpose of this show, is to share amazing, amazing individuals like Michele Swinick and give you her secrets to her success. And whatever aligns with you, you just simply model them. And we just make a better world as a result because we're serving more people. And speaking of serving more people and amazing people, to a person, each one of these successful people also were very voracious readers of books, and not just any books, but the right books. And with that, I like to segue very quickly into a little segment I affectionately call Bookmarks.
It's Bookmarks. Born to read. Bookmarks. Ready, steady, read. Bookmarks. Brought to you by ReachYourPeakLibrary.com.
Yes, ReachYourPeakLibrary.com. Real quick note for everyone watching and listening, whether you're watching live, whether you're watching the recording, whether you're listening on podcast, is take out a good old-fashioned pad of paper and a pen and take notes. rather than succumbing to that little itch that we all get, that we want to go click away and go research all of these wonderful resources. Michelle's going to have a bunch. I know I've done this show a long time and everyone has a lot of great resources for us. Write them down now, visit them after the show. That's my advice, because the thing is, the magic happens in the room. I would really hate for you to be listening to Michelle and she drops a great resource and you go click away and go looking at that resource and studying it and miss perhaps the most valuable nugget that Michelle could ever give you that would change your life forever. I would hate for that to happen. So instead of doing that, just take notes, write these things down, like reachyourpeaklibrary.com, visit it after the show's over, and be present, because that's when the magic happens, is when you're paying attention to people like Michelle. All right, reachyourpeaklibrary.com. It's just a website that I had built with you in mind, the entrepreneur, the person looking for the next great read. And what I found is that I didn't start reading voraciously till about 10 years ago at the age of 47. And when I did, I said, oh my goodness, that opened my eyes to this world of, oh, these books are life-changing. So I began cataloging those that had a profound impact on either my business, my personal life, or both. And I put them here and had my team build this website. And these are here solely for you, that you can just find the first book that jumps off the page, that resonates with you, that you want to read that you haven't read yet, and just get it. You don't have to get it on this site. You can go to Amazon. You can get it anywhere you want. That's not the purpose of this site. It's not a money-making site. It is here literally as an online library. And there's no rhyme or reason to how they're listed. They're not in alphabetical order. They're just put in as we put them in, period. Made it simple. And so there are quite a few books in there. Just pick the first one, start reading it, finish it, go on to the next, and you'll see just a beautiful transformation in your life, both in your business life and your personal life. Speaking of life, it's time to get on with ours and bring on the person you all came to see. Let's bring her. It's Michele Swinick time. Here we go.
It's time for the Guest Expert Spotlight. Savvy, skillful, professional, adept, trained, big league, qualified.
And there she is, ladies and gentlemen. It is the one, it is the only Michele Swinick. Yes, welcome to the show, Michelle. How are you doing?
Oh, I am awesome. I want you to keep talking about me. I don't think I heard anyone say that nice and compliments and everything else in so long. So I'm gonna have to listen to that over and over and over. So thank you very much, and thank you for having me on your great show, The Mind, Body, Business with Brian Kelly.
Thank you very much. And yeah, it hasn't stopped yet. There'll be more good words coming your way, because they're deserved. That's the only reason they come your way. Real quick, before we jump into this, Michelle, a little bit of housekeeping. For those that are watching, you can see this visually, and that is right above Michelle's left shoulder, up on the right-hand corner of your screen, is the Big Insider Secrets, that red stamp-looking thing, and that is the sponsor of this show. It's Jason Nast, a dear friend of mine, amazing man. They have given us the ability to give to you who are watching us live. You must be watching live, and to the end of this show, if you stay to the end, I will reveal how you can win a 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort. Yes, that's right. All compliments of the Big Insider Secrets. They gave that to us to give away every single show, every single week. Is that amazing or what? Awesome. And then one more, and then we'll come back to Michelle, and we'll have a lot of fun here. All right. If you're struggling with putting a live show together and it's overwhelming, and you want a lot of the processes done for you while still enabling you to put on a high quality show and connect with great people like Michele Swinick and grow your business all at the same time, then head on over to carpetbombmarketing.com. Carpet Bomb Marketing. Saturate the marketplace with your message. That is it. Now it's time to formally introduce the amazing Michele Swinick. Is everyone ready? Are you ready? Are you ready, Michelle? I'm going to introduce you now. It's going to be official. I'm ready. Here we go. Michele Swinick, the queen of quality content, is a purpose-driven entrepreneur, story sharer, passionate networker, and host of the Everything Home talk radio show. Phenomenal show. You should listen to it. And she's a podcast and patriotic purpose-driven resource platform. That is a patriotic and purpose-driven resource platform. She's not a platform. It's your censorship-free, safe space, sanctuary speakeasy for Patriots. One location for all the information with take action items. I love that, to grow your business, enhance the quality of your life, and this is a big part, make a difference. That's what we all want, especially in your communities. With that, officially, formally, welcome Michele Swinick to the show. So happy you're here. This is going to be a lot of fun because we've had a chat and you are an amazing, amazing woman. This is going to be so much fun. I can't wait.
Well, thank you again for having me, and wonderful intro. Anytime that you want to come on my show, do an intro like that, you are welcome. I will give you extra time. And as just a quick plug, he's going to be on the show at 1:30 p.m. Monday, November 1st to kick off Never Look Back November. Never Look Back November. And he's going to be kicking off at 1:30 p.m.
I just love the whole concept of that. Never Look Back November. I mean, that should be the entrepreneur's credo every single day.
Well, you would think. You would think.
Yeah.
But the problem with entrepreneurs is it's tiring, right? You're working all the time, and you're like, God, I've got this awesome business where I'm going to become my own boss, and then you realize I'm working twice as much when I had a real job, and then you're just going, I'm doing this solo, I'm flying all on my own, and you go, where's my life? Where's my money? So and you have these moments, and it is what it is. And then every once in a while, like I said, you know what, I should have just went and got a government cushy job, right, with a pension. And, you have a meeting to have a meeting, and you don't have to do anything, and you push things around on your desk, and you get 160 sick days. And at the end of your career, you cash it out, and there's an extra $100,000. I mean, whoa, right? What a great gig. What are we thinking? Like, why did we become entrepreneurs? And then, why do we stick with it? It's like a sick passion, I have it purpose driven, it's just like
mess, and sick in a way that it's maniacal, right? That we just won't do anything. We will not stop no matter what. That's the way I would look at the sick part of it, because it's a good sick. It's a driven sick. It's I'm all in, passionate. I love what I do, or I wouldn't be doing it kind of sick, right? Because
you're healthy sick. It's not like I've got COVID or something.
Right. Yeah, it's an amazing ride, and it's a great journey. And that's why there aren't as many entrepreneurs on this planet as there are now, because it takes some really thick skin, a lot of drive, a lot of perseverance, a lot of patience, a lot of risk, and a lot of work. And part of the reason of this show, Michele, is to help folks to get farther down that path faster and not reinvent the wheel that they don't have to. And that is to model someone who has achieved success and pick those pieces out that they need. And I'm so excited because you epitomize that. You are one of the hardest working people I've just gotten to know. And I resonated with what you said right there in the beginning. Totally resonated. It is quite the bumpy ride, but it's a fun one.
Yeah. And when you're going to expect that. And it doesn't matter if it's the first time you've been down the entrepreneurial road, or it's your second or third venture or whatever, you've been doing it. You had a good run for a while. You're always going to have those bumps. And of course, not to bring up COVID again, because I'm tired talking about it. I'm tired of giving the facts. And real quick, I'm going to do a plug for the show. Okay. Anybody who's listening, you need to listen to episode 261. Well, actually, do 263. They're both the same. Dr. Lee Merritt. Okay. I'm telling everybody, if the planet listened to this episode, because this is the most amazing woman when it comes to everything COVID. Okay. And 263. So listen to that. It'll change everything. And it will literally change. It will make it's the defining moment in your life when you listen to this. Because if you either go, oh my God, I get it, I agree, or if you say, I just don't believe her. Okay, then you just picked a lane. You literally just picked a lane. I'm just telling you that it's a little bit long. It's like about an hour and 20-minute interview, and I'm sure a lot of people already know who Dr. Lee Merritt is. She's the medical rebel, right? Listen to that one. And if you ever have somebody that gives you a hard time, or they're trying to push you to get the non-vaccine, or they're like, why aren't you wearing your dirty mask? Just have them listen to that. And just go, okay, we don't need to be friends anymore. I get it. It's cool. But anyway, I don't know how I got on that tangent. This is what happens when you come into my world, right? So the reason why let me give you a little rundown on the show. The show has 5 guests, 7-minute segments. And then that wasn't enough. Having 5 people in a live format coming at you. And then I'm talking in between, and I'm just throwing out information and facts and resources and tips and takeaways to grow your business, enhance the quality of your life, and make a difference, especially in your communities. And I'm throwing it out there because I figured if you got an hour, I'm going to jam pack it with so much stuff that you're just like, whoa, not only is this lady crazy, but it is funny. And I got some great information about all this stuff that matters, right? So you might have tuned in for something business wise, but then you feel you got some information about something in the community or something that was inspirational. And then you went, wow, this does make sense. Like I kind of need these three, you mentioned the 3 pillars or the 3 legs. I have it, the 3 legs of the stool also, but it's business, life, and community. And if you got one of them, it's like all the pill, it's the stool of life. Because if you got one of them that's out of whack, everything is just out of balance, right? So if you're like gung-ho businessman, but you don't do anything in your community, do you really know people, or you know, is your school board a mess like Virginia and you've got kids in school and you don't even know that stuff's going on? Or are you just like totally not healthy because you're working all the time? You know what I mean? And or just a grumpy old man, but you have a lot of money. You know what I mean? So you really need, and that's kind of like my whole ideology of where things need to change. Like you need to reposition your reality to realize that it's not just business and it's not just, oh, personal improvement, rah, rah, or it's not just, you know, being very active in the community. You need to have a balance between all 3 of them. And that's why there's so many, we're very diverse on our show. Okay. There's a lot of diversity, you know, like diversity and inclusion. But anyway, see, I can pick a lane and I can go down those tangents. I mean, anyone that
reposition your reality. Huh? I love that. Reposition your reality. That is,
and it's changing your ideology. It's changing your ideology to realize that all of those 3 different categories really play into one another. And somebody says to me, Michele, you know, you're telling me to become a precinct committeeman. I'm big on that. I'm a precinct committeeman here in Mayor Corruption County, Arizona, in District 23. Mayor Corruption County. You know, we had something called an audit. Did you guys know that we had an audit here in Mayor Corruption County, Anarchy, Arizona? So I'm encouraging people to get involved. I don't care what side of the fence you're on. Obviously, you can kind of figure out where I'm very pro-America. I call it a common sense. I'm a common sense pro-America activist is what I've labeled myself as, right? Because I just want to encourage common sense because it's not out there anymore, right? So we talk about it on the show. We talk about it on the platform. And I don't know where I was going with that. Yeah, you got me all riled up, Brian Kelly. You got me.
I want to ask you something. We talked about, right, I opened up with the bio, reading about you, and you've got the radio show, and you're helping entrepreneurs and business people and people to gain common sense that may not yet be there. And all that's phenomenal. And it takes a lot, as you mentioned already, it's a lot of work, and it can consume you. And knowing that, and you've been doing this for some time, I always like to peel back the curtain and take a step back, because in my humble opinion, it is our mind, the thing between our 2 ears, that makes or breaks our level of success. It's all up to us and nobody else. And I found that to be true once I became an entrepreneur. I used to do corporate, and oh my goodness, what a difference. And I love it. What I wanted to find out from you, Michele, for everyone that's listening, so that they can understand and maybe be inspired by you, and what actually is it that drives you when you get up in the morning and you know there's all of those arduous tasks, producing the show, getting ready for it, the graphics and everything that goes into setting things up, as I am very well and astute too as well. And you know that all these things are in front of you. Sometimes other big issues come up that you didn't have any clue were going to hit you right at the wrong time, right before the show goes live. You got something going on, all that. Knowing that and having been through that, what is going on in that beautiful brain of yours when you get up in the morning? And what keeps you driven? What keeps you motivated when you know that all these things are going to keep kind of smacking you backwards as you go forward in the day?
Well, when I was thinking about that question, right, believe it or not, I had never really written it out. And I encourage people, this is the crazy thing on my show. And you mentioned it in the beginning, and this is I second that motion. Pen and paper. Okay. I start at the show, take out your pen and paper, peeps, right? We the people, take out your pen and paper, because it is scientifically proven that if you write things down, your brain registers it different. It actually sits in there like it imprints into your brain in a different way. You learn it a different way when you actually write it down, not texting it to yourself or notes or whatever the kids are calling it nowadays, or even typing it. It really makes a difference with the pen and paper. So what was interesting is I never wrote it out before. And I tell people to do this. I tell people on the show all the time to do all these things. And I said, oh my God, I just realized I never wrote it out. So I said, okay, what is it that really motivates me to get my ass out of bed and makes me actually do these things and keep going when, the tough gets going, and which is like every day. It's not, this stuff's not easy, right? It's not easy. I'm herding cats just to rein in the guests and get all that taken care of. I mean, there's 7 people, sometimes 8 in a 2 hours period. And it's, they're human beings, right? They have other things to do, but that's a whole nother show, Brian Kelly. But,
Yes.
I thought about it and I said, really, it's my passion for people, purpose, and patriotism. And it's literally, and now over the past year, when I thought about it, it's my mission to restore freedom, and freedom for professional, for personal, and financially for anybody who's willing to do the work. Right. So it requires that. See, you can't just listen to a show, or you can't just read a book. You can't just go to, do a webinar or buy. And I think you and I were talking about this when you were on the show. I think it was episode 259 for those of you. I think I wrote it down. Hold on. Let me look. 250. Where are you? 259. It was the episode he was on during Omnipotent October, because it's currently still Omnipotent October. So 259 is the one that you should listen to with Brian Kelly. And we were talking about, a lot of these on-demand courses. They're very expensive. There's so many of them, and there's a lot of noise out there, right? A lot of noise. So you really need to, you want to be willing to do the work. That's what I'm saying. Because a lot of people aren't. They said, I'll just do the class. And I'm going to read the book. And because you got to do the work, you gotta put that in. So I said, all right, I'm there to bring all this information. I'm there to provide it all in one location. I'm going to bombard you with so much stuff in so many different categories. You don't have to go anywhere else, because a lot of the people like Brian, he's not part of my platform. So you can get me, and then you're going to get more of him, because I'm telling you to listen to him, because we're all in this together, right? That's the whole point of all this. It's that genius of collaboration, partnerships, promotion, relationships, which again, that goes back into putting together business, life, and community. It's why it is literally the 3 legs in the stool of life. So I figured, okay, I'll do it. I'll sacrifice my time, my sanity, my weight, my ex good looks, right? My hair's falling out, and I'll go ahead and I'll start putting all these, I'll herd all these cats and I'll stick them all in one place. And then I'm just taking it from there and saying, but you got to jump on the train, guys, right? So you got to do more than just listen. You got to take action, right? There's things that you have to do, but if we are kind of doing it together, and we're all going through it together, but you just need that push, right? That's what I'm trying to do. And I'll mention that in a little bit, the next venture that we're adding on to really give you the push. It's actually quite brilliant. And Brian doesn't know about it yet, but he's invited to participate. We just haven't had a chance to this is the mother load. Like, this is good.
I can't wait.
Because I figured, because people need that push, right? They need it. And then you want a community, and you want engagement, and you want, we want to be accountable. So we got to show up, because then I realized, and this came back, you mentioned it in the beginning. You mentioned the dreaded word exercise. Okay. I am the worst when it comes to exercise. And I full disclosure on the show, every time a fitness person comes on, one of these healthy people, because, they send me their photo and I go, whoa. I said, now that is a 6-pack. And I said, I have a 6-pack of rolls. They have a nice 6-pack where I can actually do some laundry on. I was like, wow, you know what I mean? So, and I tell them, this is my thing. That is not my jam. It used to be, but I thought about this, and I say things live on the air, and then I catch myself, because then I'm like, wow, I just committed. Now I need to woman up. I just said I was going to do this. So then I realized that's part of the problem. We're all in our little worlds. Yeah, even if you're not an entrepreneur, you're not. Maybe you're working at home. Maybe you don't have to go to the office anymore. So you've lost some accountability, or you're not going to certain events. Or you're just getting back into the groove of doing, getting ready in the morning, hair and makeup, right? I'm way out of the loop when it comes to that. So it's a matter of being held accountable. So that's why I wanted to bring more people to bring that accountability, but then also do networking and partnerships and promotion as part of a collaboration consortium type of thing. But anyway, we'll talk about that in a little bit.
You said one thing in there that was really key, and it's what I call a bomb dropping moment. Yes.
I love it.
I mean, it was smart bombs, bombs of wisdom.
Oh, God, that was good.
And what I'm referring to, though, specifically is for anyone who is willing to do the work. Thank you for bringing that to the front. And then I was thinking of the term, and you said it later, and you just reiterated that same phrase by saying, take action and don't just learn. And that came to my head, a mentor of mine, where I learned at a deep level. There are 3 stages, actually. There's learn, then there's do. That's the take action part. But if you really want to ingrain the action, and if you want to really make it part of your being, then you finally teach, number 3. And you will never forget the do ever again. And this is something, this is fantastic, Michelle, right down your alley, I'm sure. But my mentor would learn something brand new, and literally 2 weekends later, he will be up on stage presenting the material.
Oh, wow. That's impressive.
He lived it on, a very accelerated scale. I mean, I was blown away. And then his next signature event, which he held 3 to 4 times a year, which was 2-day seminars, he'd add that and take something else out. I was in awe of this guy. He just did so many things so quickly. And that's the other thing, is take action and take it quickly. Don't worry about making mistakes, because believe me, you are going to make a lot of them. And the more you make, the better, because that'll get you closer to the end prize. Who was it? It was Willie Jolly. I was looking for the book. Willie Jolly, amazing author, speaker, said, a setback is a setup for a comeback. I was like,
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Who's your mentor, by the way? Who's your mentor?
Mel Cutler is his name. He's an amazing young man who was in the seminar industry for a number of years. I ended up becoming his lead trainer, and I trained his students half of his seminar each and every weekend that we did it. And yeah, we formed a great bond, and he's out now working a different business with his wife. And I keep in touch with him and watch him. And he's an amazing guy, just the most amazing mind, I've met. And he literally, by age, could be my son. And so, if you're looking for a mentor,
that's your mentor. Interesting. You went the other way. Okay.
So to me, age doesn't matter. Gender doesn't matter. Race doesn't matter. None of that matters. What matters to me are a couple of things. One is, first and foremost, our results. The second is, do they have character, value, integrity? And that's it. I mean, if they have those 2 things together and they go about business the right way, and they are more successful than I am, then I will grab onto both of their ankles and never let go, and make them my mentor and say, how can I help you? Because I know I'm going to learn a lot just being in your presence. And that's what happened. I ended up helping for several years before I became a speaker on his stage, and all the good things that happened after. So but I just thought what you said about taking action was so important. I wanted to really elevate and highlight that, because that's what a lot of people do. They'll be seminar junkies. I used to be one of them. I'd go to seminar after seminar after seminar, LA, all over the place, and learn, and then come back home and not do a darn thing and think, why isn't anything happening? I'm not getting anything out of this. It's because you got to do, and then teach as soon as you can.
No, I'm a big note taker. So you went to seminars. I'm listening and taking notes, like literally, like the movie A Beautiful Mind, when they went in the house and you're seeing like the charts, the graphs, the lines, and you're like, whoa, this guy is just a little much. Like my office, it doesn't look like that, but there's notes. I mean, there's piles, there's boxes and notes. And I'm thinking to myself, I need to do something with this. Like I can put it together, and I don't even have to write a book. The books are here, right? Because I've just interpreted what all these other people said, or notes from the shows, or notes that I was watching something on TV, or all the webinars and the seminars and stuff. And I said, I got to do something with it. I mean, this is crazy. So that's where kind of the concept of the show came from, because I realized that I was like you. I just kept taking notes, and I had all this information, and I'm like, well, I just need to somehow purge it, like throw it up on somewhere. So that's why, like, just throw it up here on the microphone. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm doing for 2 hours. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We're going to do Mondays and Fridays for right now, because it's too much. But yeah, we'll be back 3 days a week.
She's raw. She's edgy. She's awesome. She's amazing. This is fun.
Well, you gotta make it fun. You know what I mean? Like,
Thank you.
Thankfully, it was only did a brief stint in the corporate world, but I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine doing that especially nowadays, where everything is so serious and you've got the tie and you've got to do like the proper words and the meeting to have a meeting to have a meeting. And you're like, we didn't get anything done. And you're like, this is so stupid. But yeah, so more power to those people that have that kind of patience. I don't, because there's not a lot of common sense when it comes to how things are run, because it's too big. So they don't really like collaborating. That's not their thing either.
Right. I never was a big fan of doing what somebody else wanted, when they wanted, and many times how they wanted. You had no freedom of expression, no freedom of creation, no freedom of really giving, making an impact of your own creation. It was a lot of driven by documentation processes and, march to the beat of the corporate drum and go collect that paycheck. Which, God bless everyone in corporate world, because we would not exist, right? Entrepreneurs would have nobody to do that mundane type of work that some people honestly love doing. And that's fine. Thank you. And they like the security, and that's great, because entrepreneurship is not a secure position by any stretch.
No, there's nothing secure about it. And that's one of the things that I was thinking about, it's always to be just to not have to worry about money is probably one of the most amazing freedoms that you can have. Like, so as I mentioned, I said personal freedom, financial freedom, or I put in the order of professional, personal, and then financial. It just, even if you are successful, you're always worried about that, because things could turn around the next week and all of a sudden the country shuts down and you had a business where you spoke on stages. Well, guess what? No stage for you. And you're thinking, whoa. And then all of a sudden there is no business. So, up until last year, we never thought something like that would happen. Exactly. It will never happen again. But there's a perfect example. So it doesn't matter how successful you were or you are each month, that you always have that hanging over your head. And that's the most horrible, stressful feeling. And that's why, what I figured, by creating this platform and getting more people with the ideology of combining your business, your life, your community, but then also collaborating together. I think I push that home now more so than ever, that I want people to really understand the value of collaboration and collaboration, strategic partnerships, if you want to call it that, networking, but really doing it, not saying that you're going to do it, but literally going into your database of diamonds, I call it, and having a phone conversation. Yes, phone, pick up the phone, people. And having that conversation about what can we do together? How can I help you? Who do you need to know that's in my database? Who is in my database that can help you? How can you help sell my stuff? How can I help sell your stuff? Do you have any single men friends for me? You just throw all this stuff out there and say, what is it that we can do? Because you mentioned it earlier, and I talk about it all the time. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. We just need to spin it faster. And how do you spin it faster? You have more people pushing it. So why go down the road of talking to strangers all the time? And, a lot of the times you pick an episode of Shark Tank. The thing they talk about all the time is the cost of customer acquisition. It's the most expensive thing. And then you got to do the same thing over and over. Every day you wake up, I got to find a new customer. Every single month. Like, the biggest mistake, one of the biggest, because you asked me my mistakes. I started writing a list and I'm like, Michelle, you got to stop. This list is too long. We don't need to share this kind of drama on the show. But I realized one of the biggest mistakes that I did when I first started in, I guess you can call it like the adult world of working, right? For real, like, because you got to pick like a career, because you finish college and then like, now what, right? So I went into real estate, not because when it wasn't real estate like it is now, where everybody and their mother's a real estate agent. Well, I live in Maricopa County, Arizona. So everybody literally is a real estate agent here in Arizona. So this is 25. Oh my God. 2000. No, it's not 2000. I was 24. So 1996. Oh my God. 96. I don't even know what that is in math. Let's not go there. So I went into real estate. If I would have known that there's all these different categories in the real estate industry, but I picked the one that has no residual income whatsoever, that I literally got to start from scratch every single time that I finished a closing. Literally, you had nothing. You would have start over. And it was the one that, it was the worst one I could have picked, right? Because you have your appraiser. At least that one you could do volume, and you're not dealing with a transact. You're getting paid for what you do. So if the house doesn't sell, what do you really care? It doesn't matter. You got paid. Home inspector, same thing. Loan officer, at least you get to stay inside with the air conditioning, because that kind of like that, because it is 140 in the summer. But it was too late to switch gears. But the insurance guy has residual income. The insurance guy's got a book of business to sell when he hits like 40 some or 50 some, and he doesn't want to work anymore, and he gets a nice big fat check. So again, it's you gotta think about all of the different moving parts. But then again, this is I veered off, right? I veered off the lane here. We're a little bit off the bumpy road, but it goes back to the point of, why reinvent the wheel? Why start from scratch every single month? So the point of my collaboration concept is partnerships, relationships, and promotion. So work with the people that you already know that are like-minded, and literally find out how you can help each other. But you've got to take it seriously. You just can't say, all right, we're going to refer business. That doesn't mean anything. Right? You need specifics. You need whether, even if it's like, hey, we're going to meet once a week, we're going to talk once a week, we're going to, or you're going to put something together, like some sort of a package, or if you're going to, start doing a show together, which you can, right? It doesn't have to be something where you're showing up, right? And something where you are now being consistent, and something where you are offering obviously some sort of value and helping people. But your database of diamonds is the key to everything. Because within it, there's so many layers of people. Like on my show, and I haven't really tapped into it because I haven't had time, but I said, no, it's so stupid. You're sitting on, literally, that's not even my personal database of people that I know that I've done business with. This is people that are on the show that are all, for the most part, like-minded. And I wrote down the number of how many there were. There's 282 partners. So even if it's 10%, that's 28. And let's just say it's 5% of people are like, all right, let's do something. So what is that? 14 people. You don't need more than 14 people that are working with you, that are all, Matt, can you imagine if they're all working together? Whoa.
So that's the beautiful thing.
People, look at the numbers. It's like compound interest. 2 and 2 is 4. 4 and 4 is 16. 16 and 16. That's a lot of money. Okay. So reposition the reality. Yeah.
And you know what that is, Michelle? All of that. It is another bomb dropping moment. I'll tell you that. Knowledge bomb drops and wisdom, smart bomb. And that's the thing. I love everything you were saying is so spot on. And I will tell everyone out there, I want to ask you this question. Actually, I'm going to ask this question first before I bring this up. And I may not even bring it up based on your answer, because I want to know from you, like, here's the thing. Having a business and being an entrepreneur is difficult. But one of the life's blood and one of the skill sets that one must master, whether we do it ourselves or we bring in either a partner or we hire somebody, but it's the skill set of marketing, which is the art of getting eyeballs to your business and then nurturing that, and then later becomes the sales process. But I'm always curious, because what was working yesterday isn't necessarily going to work today, and what's working today might not work at all tomorrow in the form of marketing. So I'm curious with you, Michele, what is it for you right now, today, your number one go-to form, not 1, 2, 3, and 4 ways of doing it, but your number one approach to marketing that has worked the best for you going on right now?
Picking up the phone and talking to this database of diamonds. I started doing it like hardcore 2 weeks ago. And then it goes in spurts, because stuff's coming up, and I've got, the show, I'm going on other shows. I'm guest hosting on shows, which has been awesome. And my show's audio, right? So I'm a radio girl, which means I don't have to do the hair and makeup. So I've had to actually readjust how things are done, the studio, the lighting, the way that I'm looking at the camera. You know what I mean? It's a lot. So I'm in that groove. But so now that I'm actually doing that, hang on a second, there's a little chirp over here, a little rude chirp of the phone. Settle down there, champs. It's a 6:10 alarm. I have no idea why I set it at 6:10. I sent it like 3 weeks ago, and I haven't turned it off yet, but it goes off at 6:10 just to kind of give me a heads up at 6:10. So I'm like, all right, if something happens at 6:10, I'm going to leave it there. I don't know why it's there. But yeah, what I started to do is I started to pick up the phone, and that's where this whole idea of this kind of collaboration consortium that I'm putting together. It's literally, it's like a mastermind with collaboration, with networking, with inspiration and motivation, and the Take Action BLC all rolled into one. But that's where the idea came from. So I just did it yesterday. Yesterday, I talked to one of my partners on the show who has become a friend. I threw a bunch of stuff at him, and he goes, "I love it, and I'm gonna add on some more." And I was like, "Oh my God." And it was literally a 25-minute conversation. I ended up getting involved with some of the things that he's already put together. He's going to be a little bit more active when it comes to stuff that I'm doing. He's going to jump on the train, most likely, with the collaboration consortium. I now have I'm able to give away his package with a 25% discount. And this is findyourwen.com, findyourwen.com. And it's an online course for $199, and the promo code's home, and you get like coaching one-on-one, but like with a human being. And that's for personal and for health and for business. So that came out of the conversation, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff. And I was like, literally, it was a 25-minute phone call. So now we are going to move forward with some other things, but not, okay, 2 weeks are going to go by. It's literally going to be once a week conversation, maybe even more so. So it works. And I just, when I was getting ready to come on the show, another one happened, because I said, I'm going to throw it out there. I'm going to throw all this stuff. And then I'm like, boom, let's really take it to the next level. It makes everybody's life easier. Plus, how awesome if you can work with your friends, right? Why would you not? Why would you want to work with a stranger? Why? It's, stranger danger. That's what we were told when we were young. So now all of a sudden you're telling me a stranger's my friend? Well, I'll just stick out with the peeps that I already know and take it to the next level. And it makes their life easier too. They don't have to go ahead. Customer acquisition just went to $0, especially in some of these businesses where it's so much money. And interesting that you brought this up about marketing and business. Pete Vargas, are you familiar with who he is? Pete Vargas with Advance Your Reach.
I know the name.
Okay, I'm sure you had him, but you probably know who he knows and what he does. He is behind the scenes for all of the big people that go on the platforms that do the inspirational speaking. Tony Robbins and Dean Grazioso, all those. He's the one that actually puts their productions on. He actually was the one. He was doing for like past 10 years. He's been doing live, but then all of a sudden, literally overnight, business was disappeared. He was the guy who came up with the entire virtual model that you see that Tony Robbins uses and all those guys. So his group did that. So he had a seminar thing today that he did. And he was saying all of the big people are telling him right now, it's difficult for them to do their sales and marketing. They're having issues. And these are the big guys that have the money to throw out there to do the sales, to do the acquisition, to do the promotion. And he says, they're all saying it's just really difficult right now in their sales and marketing departments. And then he says, the number one thing to grow your business is your relationships and your partnerships. And I was like, wow, that's what I've been saying. So I was like, okay, we're on to something. But the thing that I thought was, if they're having trouble selling and marketing themselves, well, why? Is it because, what are they doing? They're taking out ads, right? They are, tapping into their existing database by sending the emails. I mean, what else is it that really are they doing in order to promote themselves, to do the marketing, other than the stuff that they've always done? So that's just further proof that doesn't really work that well anymore.
You're right.
Because you said it changed. It doesn't work that way. You got to change gears. You got to throw something different, different bait on the end of the fishing pole. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And relationships are the key today. And I would say they have been part of an important part of marketing since the beginning of time. It's one of those constants that always must be in place. Even when internet marketing was the rage and you could email a big list and make a lot of money by getting people to buy your stuff and your ebooks, there was this relationship undertow. If you had established some great relationships, some partnerships, some joint ventures, that's when you really take off. And that's what I wanted to bring up about what both you and I do, Michelle, which is we both have a show. And the thing with that is when we bring on guests like you do, what an amazing ride it is when you get to form these relationships with people that previously you've never met. And for anyone out there asking the question, well, how do I even get in front of people? How do I find these people to joint venture with? you do exactly what we're doing right now. I'm not kidding. This is like the best way to meet the most phenomenal people on the planet. In fact, I grabbed this book as you were talking because this was not to happen without this show. And I ended up bringing on the great Les Brown onto this very show as a direct result of having this show and doing it with quality and professionalism and not a hobby, in other words, but organically, I was able to get this amazing man on my show. He's 77 years old now and still going strong. And I met him in person like 10 years ago, sweetheart. And then I had him on the show, sweetheart. And then we talked on the phone twice after the show, sweetheart. The guy is amazing. He's everything he looks and appears on stage. I'm sure he has his bad days like everyone else, but he is an amazing man. But all that point to point that the relationships are key, and to build key relationships, I would recommend, if you don't have one, and I'm going to ask Michelle if you concur, is to start your own show, whether it be audio, podcast, or live video, whatever, as long as you bring on high-valued interview guests, and there are strategies for bringing on higher and higher influencers as you go along. What do you think about that, Michelle? Do you think that would be a good strategy for folks?
Yeah, because you're promoting your message and you're bringing on other people. And everybody's always looking to get on a show. Like I tell everybody that's the partners on our platform, and I give them the tools to go get on shows. Here's all the websites that you can be sign up for and get notifications. And they're all free. There's like 7 of them that I know of. And then go get yourself on a show. That's all. It's about being on other people's stages, right? So not only are you're peddling your wares, you're selling your widgets, and you're getting your voice out there. So maybe people will like you, and even if they don't buy your stuff, that's okay. Maybe that they ended up just following you on social media, or who knows, right? It's the point is you got to get the exposure. But you've spent $0, like zero, right? All it is your time. So you should literally going on as many shows as you can, because the thing that people do the least is sales and marketing. And that's the most important thing you should be doing. You should be spending all your time doing that rather than admin, like pushing around paper. Like that's my problem. My problem is I always get into that little, I need to take a break today for the next hour. And I really should just be finding 2 more shows to jump on, right? And get scheduled on. But I'm like, I'll fart around with the website for a little bit and do some updates. No, bad idea. Bad idea, Michelle. That's not what you're going to do. You're going to go and get yourself signed up on 2 more shows, because it doesn't cost you any money. People are always looking to be on a show, and people that have a show are always looking for guests. And there's so many shows, and you can be really specific now about your niche, right? So you can go on, you can be very specific on what audience you want to go for. And even if you make an arse out of yourself on the show, it doesn't matter. Who cares? Nobody that you know is probably watching it or listening to it anyway, right? And the guest and the host, what do they care? And so you never talk to them again. Oops, you know what I mean? So okay, so it wasn't that great, but you got to practice. So you can go to one. You're not going to get on a big show anyway, so it doesn't matter. So you can do that. It's a great way. Plus, what if it's somebody who you like, right? What if it's somebody that you hit it off, and then you start doing your strategic partnership and collaboration with them, and then you say, hey, listen, why don't we do some things together? Oh, and by the way, you have a lot of cool guests. Do you mind if I reach out to the guests and start collaborating with them? Maybe we can actually create our own collaboration consortium. And now you just created a networking group with somebody who's already bringing the people together. They're doing technically like the heavy lifting. And then you're just the one coming in and saying, hey, let's all work together, network together, maybe do some more partnerships. And you're not reinventing the wheel. And they all have friends and diamond databases too. And you didn't, you just stepped into it. You like stepped in a nice pile of poop, and you're like, hey, I don't mind this pile of poop. It's okay that it's on my new shoes. See what I mean? That's what I'm saying. You've got to reposition your reality and rethink how it is when you are having conversations with people, right? Because all of that it layers in. And even if it wasn't somebody that had to do with a business show, it's okay. We're talking about community and life, and you're putting that all together. So think outside the box. Just as long as you keep your common sense cap on, right? You keep that on all day. And I encourage you to sleep in it, and tell your friends to put on their common sense caps too. It's amazing what you can do when you start using your little noggin up here and being creative, because everybody's in the same boat. So you got to be the leader. Throw it out there. What do you have to lose? And they say, no, I think your idea is stupid. Oh, it's up yours. I'm going to go somewhere else and talk to somebody else who gets it, who wants to be my friend and make a lot of money with me and have a good time. Okay, fine. There's other fishies in the sea.
And so to demonstrate what you're talking about in real time about getting on other people's shows. I put it up on the screen. This is a gentleman I'd known for over 10 years, right around 10 years or so. And he's one of those guys that gets it like you and I. He's in it to win it. He's been doing it for a long time, many, many shows. And he just said, I'm always looking for guests, 125 a year. So I'm going to call it out right now to Tim and say, look, here's the beautiful thing about having your own show. Now you can leverage and you have something to offer in return. We call it in the industry a stage swap. So, hey, Tim, I would love to be on your show. And guess what? I would love to have you on mine too. So we can cross-pollinate our tribes with each other's brilliance. And,
me too. I'm in. Count me in. How am I doing this? Yeah.
There you go.
Me too, Tim. Ditto.
And that's how simple it can be. And if you have your own show, you can leverage it. So I know that Michelle will offer you to be on her show as well. And I would vet him for you, Michelle, without a heartbeat. So, get people to vet the people you're going to have on your show. And you won't run into those issues of having those people that come on that are not good. Do some work up front and you'll have a great show, high quality show, but it's really that simple. And if you have your own show, you get additional leverage. Do you have to have your own show? No, but it will definitely serve its purpose. And oh my God, the benefits that come as a result of it are insurmountable. And they're too many to mention. It's amazing. And another thing I always say, and I don't know if you resonate with this or not, Michelle, but what I always say is my show is not my business. I've said nothing about what I do for my own business on this show, and I don't. And I do it primarily to bring value in the form of wonderful people like Michelle to bring different vantage points on how to succeed in business. And by doing that, I've gotten a ton of business indirectly. Mm-hmm. It's just, if we're out here just to advertise and promote ourselves over and over and over again, people after a while, it's like a dog sensing fear. They're onto you and they won't come back anymore. But if you're just providing value and bringing on amazing people like Michelle, then my goodness. And on that, I want to do a quick, I don't want to forget this, Michelle. I was telling you before the show, what I want to do is give you the opportunity to tell folks who it is you cater to, who are those that you serve, who are those that you are helping to advance their business, in what specific way. And I'll bring up your main site and let you roll with that, because that's one of your ways for a part of the funnel, if you will. It's not even a sales funnel, but it's a way to get connected with you and determine if there's a fit. But if you don't mind, I'd really love for you to be able to showcase what it is you do for other people in their businesses, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, sure. I mean, first I have the show, right? We have the show. It's called Everything Home. We're live Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And it is a talk radio show, as he mentioned in the beginning. It's live. And it's a podcast, because then it's dispersed on 25 different platforms. And it's a patriotic, purpose-driven resource platform. So literally, because I have so many guests, 5 guests, 7-minute segments, and then of course, it's the most powerful hour in all podcasts. Of course it is. So then what happened is I'm like, an hour is not enough. We need to throw in another hour. So then I have my longer form interviews that start at 1 p.m. Pacific time, 2, sometimes 3 guests. So you're getting jam-packed with 5, 6, 7, 8 guests in that 2-hour period that give you all the tools and tips to grow your business, enhance the quality of your life, and make a difference. And the great thing about it is everything is on the website. And that way you can listen to the episodes, right? So you don't have to Google anymore. You don't have to go and find, hey, I need somebody in this category who does this. And you don't, the goal is to not work with strangers. I don't need strangers, stranger danger, right? So work with people that have already been vetted. These people have passed the smell test. They come on, a lot of them come on once a month, because it has that 5 guest format. And then you get to know them. And you might not, and a lot of them have their own shows, which there's a whole nother page. It's the must listen to page. So there's a lot of cross promotion that's done on here, because I'm encouraging other people to network and work together. And I drive all of the traffic back to the website, because you've got to take action tab, because there's literally things you can do. There's resources for your business there. A lot of this stuff is free. Then literally there's hundreds of thousands of dollars of free content that I've actually just recorded doing all these shows. And there's a COVID facts tab. So I encourage you to go check that out, because then that'll give you a reality check for those of you that are still wearing your dirty masks. And there's other people's shows too. And I promote other platforms. I promote people that haven't come on the show yet, people that I want to come on the show. But anyway, that is a great resource. And I encourage people that once you come on the show, start networking with these people. Why would you not? You have something in common. You come on my show. And so we pick up the phone. Again, it's back to that, hello, let's do some networking. Or if you need their product or service, it's literally everything's right here. So as far as people that are not even part of the show, do the same thing. So even if you haven't been on the show and you're like-minded, because you'll listen to the show and you'll clue in. I think for the most part, you've clued in already that you've been paying attention for literally 3 minutes that I've been talking. You're like-minded. You're like-minded with most of these people. Go ahead and use this as a starting point and pick up the phone and contact them. Even if you don't do business with them, they're all about promotion and marketing and collaboration, because I drill that in on the show. And of course, now I'm going real hardcore with it. So can you imagine somebody calls you like, hey, listen, I want to collaborate with you. And I want to do some business exchange. I want to do some networking. Do you think that's a good idea? I'd be like, yeah, this is amazing. Come on my show. And I have other friends that I need for you to meet. Again, it grows from there. So that's the main, the main free, right? That's how I help people out. And I want more people to come on the show, because the more the merrier, right? And the more the merrier. And again, I have to get so many guests per month, and some people can't come back every single month. And some people just decide, this is not for me. I don't want any free promotion, Michelle. I don't want you telling anybody about my business or my company. And I have no use. And I don't have 7 minutes of the day once a month in order to come on your show. So this is not for me. I said, that's fine if that's not for you. You don't want free promotion, and you don't want me to say that you're awesome. And you don't want people to hear about all the things that you do, because you're so busy that you don't have 7 minutes once a month. I get it. That's totally okay. So I'm always looking for more people to come on the show. So, but here's the thing. This ties in to not only everything I've been talking about today, but what Pete Vargas, I mentioned earlier, where he says that even the big guys, the ones that are out there, with the mega packages that are selling you all of these different things that are like thousands of dollars and things like that, they're all having trouble with sales and marketing, because they're just doing the same old thing. They're selling it to their existing people. They're going directly to strangers, and they are also just selling a package. Well, I said, what if I created something where I took all of these things and put them together and did everything for you? And it was half the cost of if you hired a PR company to do nothing for you. Nothing against PR companies, but for those of you who have hired a PR company in the past, you've got 3-month retainer, anywhere from $2,500 to $3,500 for 3 months. If you, and sometimes you get a good one. And sometimes you're just like, wow, I spent a lot of money and I got one article. What am I going to do with that? Okay. So I said, what if I combine all of this together? And I call it promos for a purpose. So what we're doing is basically allowing you to stand out from your competition, stay top of mind, elevate your brand, and promote your purpose. Remember, it's all about being purpose driven. Made easy. We do it for you. So it is an entire experience. I call it an experience because it's not a package, because it's, you're participating. And it's a comprehensive, everything done for you, purpose-driven business, partnership, and marketing experience with all kinds of materials. So we go to branding and strategy and plan and materials and memberships and promotions and public relations and community and networking, referrals, collaboration, support. You're part of the platform. You're getting a press release. You're getting a media one sheet. You're partnering with a nonprofit organization. So now you actually have a brand. You have something that your business stands for. And you also have a story now, because let's just say you were an air conditioning company. You're not going to get a story about an air conditioning company. No offense. Nobody cares about the air conditioning company. You're not going to get any press. But if the nonprofit that you're working with, you now become a purpose-driven business, because you're a business that's supporting the community. And 63% of the people want to buy and hire from businesses that support nonprofit organizations and the community and charities. And your competition is equally good. The price is pretty much the same. And now you are a purpose-driven business. Where are they going to go? I think they're going to call you, right? Because now you have the marketing materials, you have the branding, you've got the press, you've just got on a bunch of shows. You're part of our platform where I'm driving business back to you. You have a whole new set of friends that are going to become part of your referral network and your collaboration, right? And you've got a new community of people that are involved with the nonprofit, the donors, the stakeholders, the community people that are being served by them, the boards and everybody else. So when they need to go call an air conditioning guy, who are they going to call? You. See what I mean? So you're creating, again, it's collaboration, it's relationships, and it is taking marketing and branding to a different level, where you're just, instead of just writing a press release, or you're just doing a video, which you're going to get all that. So, and then, there's a lot of marketing materials that come on with it. You come on the show, we do a 7 minutes, you come on the show, plus we do a recorded one. So you have a commercial now. So, there's so much in this package. I priced it too low, but I just figured, you know what? That's fine. Because once I get overwhelmed, well, then what do? You have to increase the price because I gave away the farm. That's fine. I'm cool with that because I see the value in it and it's something different. And a lot of people are not, they don't get their arms around it because they're like, well, you mean all of this and this is the cost? Yeah. What's the catch? No, there's no catch. It's just the way it should be done. That's all. So people aren't used to that. They're not used to when things are easy because we do everything for you too. So
yeah, that's an important
promos for a purpose.
The grass. Yeah, promosforapurpose.com. You see it on the screen. Promosforapurpose.com. And it's all part of, it's a synergistic combination of services and resources she provides, as well as her other website, which is everythinghomeresourceplatform.com. Wanted to get that out there audibly for our listening folks so they can see both of them. And I also heard a little birdie tell me that Michelle might have a gift for everyone. We're going to get to that in a moment. We are at the bottom of the hour already. The beautiful thing is this is not a radio station. We're not paying for our studio time, and we can go a little over, and that's cool. I hope that's okay with you, Michelle. We're about to wind it up. It's hard to believe we're here already. Goodness sakes. One of the things I love to do, and we will get to the vacation giveaway and Michelle's giveaway in just a moment. The way I love to close every show out, Michelle, is by asking a specific question that every guest that's been on the show, nearly every guest, because I didn't do it from day one, but darn near, I asked the same question because it's so profound and that the responses have been just amazing. And it's just been so cool. It can be personal, doesn't have to be, but I just found it to be supremely powerful. And so we'll do that in just a second. But now I'm going to take people straight to the vacation giveaway. So go ahead. If you're watching us, we now give you our permission just for a moment. If you have to take your gaze away from the screen, but first you need to see the screen so you can do this. You need to go to a particular website to enter to win a 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort. And to do that, open up your web browser on your phone, on your computer, wherever you're watching this, and put in this URL, this web address. It's ryp.im/vacation, all lowercase. One more time, ryp.im/vacation. All you have to do is enter your information there. We will randomly draw the winner, and winners will be announced this evening before we close up completely. And once again, this is sponsored by our wonderful friends at the BigInsiderSecrets.com. So go ahead, do that right now, because we're going to get right back to Michelle and talk about her amazing giveaway. And real quick, I'll put it on the screen so you can see it there, Michelle, and talk to it so folks can understand what it is you're offering for them here today.
Yeah, I'm going to load this up. So it's soon to be launched, our collaboration consortium, which is a combination of the collaboration and a mastermind and like motivational, right? So it's going to be amazing. There's going to be 12 instead of just having a normal one where it's just one person you go do or 2 people. We're going to have 12, right? So it's going to cover the Take Action BLC, business life and community. So you literally don't need to go anywhere else, right? So we're going to do that. So it's in the process. So you'll get 1 month for free. I'm going to throw that out there. And then if you want to do a 30-minute collaboration and marketing consultation with me, I will throw that out there. And again, we're going to dive into your database with my database, and we're just going to reposition our reality and how we're thinking about all the different possibilities. Because once you start looking at things in a different light, you'll look at every single person differently, and you'll have different conversations. And even if me just describing some of my success stories of the conversation, then that's worth the phone call at all. And then what I'm also going to do, I'm going to throw this in, because I told you I was going to load this up, because that's what I do. I just give too much away, right? And I do this every day. Every time I have a show, I just load it up with all kinds of information for people, and it's all free. Anyone that does the Promos for a Purpose program, I'll knock $200 off of it, which is a lot of money considering what I'm giving away. Is that the lowest package is only $18.97. So take $200 off. So it's $16.97. I'm not afraid to say what the price is, because there's so many other people that have packages where you just watch something on a video and it costs like 2 times as much as that. This is we do it for you, and you have materials, and you have relationships, and you have stuff. You have stuff, and theirs is you just sit in front of the screen and just like watch a video.
So this is a phenomenal offer in so many ways. 1 month of membership, a 30-minute collaboration, 30 minutes of her time. That, our time is the biggest, most valuable resource any of us have. The cool thing with it is you're going to be able to determine if you're a mutual fit for each other going forward, and getting that $200 off of our package or wherever it takes you. The thing is, I can tell Michelle's a pro, and that she's not in it just to sell you on her stuff. She's there to find out if you're a collaborative, a fit for her. And it's got to be a two-way fit. And that's something that takes a lot of entrepreneurs a long time to learn. It's like, well, they have a heartbeat and a credit card with room on it. I'm taking their money. It's like, no. That can cost you far more in time, aggravation, and money than you're gaining by the actual transaction. So thank you for that. And I would say, is the entry point for them to schedule that 30-minute call, and then you can go from there? Is that the entry point?
Yeah, that's the easiest. That's your low-hanging fruit, because during that conversation, if they're a fit to come on the show and be a part of the community and be on the 7 minutes segments, then they can come on the show. There's no cost for that. But you just have to, I got to make sure that they're on the same page. That's all. And I think anybody that's listening figures out what page I'm on, right? So you kind of already know if you're going to be on my page. So you just screened yourself. So you just took the heavy lifting off of me. I don't have to screen, because you already know if you fit into the box based on this show. And then, of course, just listen to a couple minutes of any of my shows. And then I think we're wrapping it up. Is that the hook is coming out, and it's going to take me off the stage at this point.
I remember those days. The old, I forgot hee-haw and all that. But I just wanted to say it verbally for everyone that's listening on podcasts. That's Calendly.com. You want to go to Calendly.com/Michele Swinick. That's all one word, no space. And it's Michele. Don't forget the last E. And then Swinick. Calendly.com/Michele Swinick. And Michelle, there's probably going to be a time limit on how long this beautiful, amazing offer is going to be available. Do you have anything in mind for that?
Well, I encourage you to do it between today and the end of November, because just based on the fact of what I am doing and the shows I am going on, and the amount of people, as I gave you an example, that I'm collaborating with, I'm not going to have a ton of free time after that. So I'm just saying this is the time now where I have some flexibility in order to bring in as many people and have those conversations, because it's going to get a little hairy here in the next couple of weeks, because I'm actually putting in the work. I'm putting in the work to make it happen. And let me give you another website, because this is where I'm directing everybody to be easier. And like a Linktree account. You ever heard of Linktree? Anybody that's listening? I got kicked off a Linktree. Who gets kicked off a Linktree, right? I got kicked off a Linktree because I had information. Like, we have a COVID facts tab, right? Because there's something about COVID, this political propaganda pandemic that's going around, the COVID thing. So I've had the information on my COVID facts tab on the website. It's been there since last April, which is April of 2020. I've had that link on my Linktree account since June of 2020. June of 21, they decided that I was in violation of their community standards, and they kicked me off. I was like, it took you a year? So obviously it wasn't. It was just the flavor of the month. They called the soup du jour. It's the message of the minute that they didn't want out and about. So anyway, I found a new one. It's called Launch Links. Launch Links, totally free. Same type of thing, but they don't kick you off for telling the truth and providing facts and information for people, God forbid. So if you go to everythinghomeaboutus.com, everythinghomeaboutus.com, you will see a laundry list, but it's a pretty laundry, right? It's clean laundry, a laundry list of all the different websites and the website pages and the key pages for the social media links to contact me, to jump on the calendar, the most recent show, upcoming shows, all that. And it's the different categories on the website to make it easier. So I encourage you to support Launch Links and get rid of your Linktree account, because they're a bunch of
I love it.
They're a bunch of Nazis. Right. They're a bunch of Nazis. So don't support the Nazi regime. So be careful where you spend your time and money, people.
Yes.
There's
good advice.
Evil lurking. There's demons everywhere. Demons.
All right, let's bring this wonderful show home with that big question. I kind of loaded it up for you. But I wanted to let you know real quick before I bring it up is there is no such thing as a wrong answer to this question. It does not exist. And in fact, just the opposite is the case. It is your answer, Michele, is the right answer. And it's the only answer. Why? Because it's yours. It comes from you. It is unique to you. That's the only thing that makes it personal, unless you want to make it more personal by the content of your answer. It's completely up to you. And the other thing is some people instantly know the answer and they rattle it right off. Others take a little while to ponder. That is also completely correct, no matter what it takes for you to come up with the answer. So with all that being said, take a big sigh of relief and you can go, all right, I'm ready. So are you ready for this question, Michele Swinick?
Bring it, Brian Kelly.
I love it.
Yeah, bring it.
Here we go. Michele Swinick, how do you define success?
Okay. I thought about this one because, full disclosure, Brian gave me like a laundry list of questions and I had to pick some out, but I can tell you right now, he's only asked one of them on the show. Okay. So I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, but when it comes to success, I really thought about it and I was like, what is it that defines success? So here we go. A life of balance, purpose-driven actions, being able to work with your friends, when your passion becomes your purpose and it makes you enough money to live a comfortable life. And that's it. I think I covered all of it. It took me a while to come up with that. That was the last question that I went through on your list. And I had to think about it because I had to tie in everything that I've been talking about. And everything, all the questions that you didn't ask me. And that's it. Yeah.
Yep. We would need another 3 hours to get to the rest of the questions. But that's the beautiful thing about this is, I do prepare questions in advance.
But you don't ask them.
I rarely go through them because organically we cover so many wonderful things. That's what I love about what I get to do. And that becomes more authentic and real. And it's not done on purpose. It's just, this is the way the show flows. And
no, but you got to get some people. You got to get ready. They need the questions because even on my show, people that are well known, they're booking people says, "Well, do you want to send over the questions?" I said, "There are no questions." They go, "What do you mean?" I said, "I don't ask questions. I have a conversation." So I said, "You have a business or you have a thing, you whatever you do, we talk about that, and then wherever the conversation goes, it goes." I have no idea. I don't have any. I've never written a question down, and then when I tell that to people, they're in shock. They're like, "Well, what am I going to talk about?" I said, "You." I said, "You."
You know what?
So I appreciate that you do that too, but you have to because you don't know what the other person is going to be able to handle or that conversation. So you prep them, and you kind of tease them so that they got ready, and then you throw stuff out there because you're guiding the conversation, and that's what makes a good host. So people that are maybe listening for the first time, Brian's a good host. He's a great host because he takes the conversation and doesn't go through structured questions that didn't have one to do with the next. He was listening to the conversation and it was just going, and he made adjustments accordingly. That's what makes a good show. That's what makes a good host, when you don't have to go, okay. Now, number 2 is, I wanted to ask you about this.
I've literally seen that.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people do that. And I've been on shows that do that. And there's a big difference. And the audience appreciates it when you do have those conversations because you're listening and then you're thinking, and then you're crafting the next conversation or which direction the conversation should be going. And especially based on what your audience wants to hear, their red meat for whatever it is that they're going to have for the red meat for dinner. That's how that works. So you're a great host. So thank you so much for having me come on Monday. For all of those who are excited to get a taste of my show, Brian is going to be kicking off Never Look Back November. He'll be on at 1:30 p.m. Pacific time. You can go to everythinghomelive.com, everythinghomelive.com, or you can always go to everythinghomeaboutus.com, and it'll show you on there. So you can listen to it live, and it streams on a couple of the social media platforms. Facebook hates us. So they say, "No, Michele, you can't come on our platform. community violator. I don't care. God forbid, tell the truth. And then YouTube, they love striking me. It's just like playing baseball. There's another strike. So it's Rumble, Twitter, the Twitter, LinkedIn, Cloud Hub. But you'll find all that at everythinghomelive.com. So Brian will be at 1:30. And then, of course, if you get a chance, you can tune in tomorrow at 1 or 12 p.m. when the show starts. I'll be live, 5 guests, 7-minute segments. And then let me plug who's my special guests. Oh, my special guest tomorrow is Dr. Mike Spalding. He's really great. He's a pastor, but he's like a cool pastor, right? He's a cool pastor because it's somebody you can listen to. And it's not like a religion, right? It's like common sense and like what's going on about the spiritual battle that we're experiencing right now, especially here in the United States of America. And then a candidate for state Senate in Arizona, Jane Dubakis. And, I love having some of these politicians on, or pseudo politicians, these rhino Republicans, and we weed them out, and then we just beat them up and say, what the hell's going on in the state? What have you done to the state of Arizona? Doug Ducey is my governor. He's a horrible, horrible person. No one's in prison, and we have like huge election frauds. I don't understand. And the kids are, whatever. I can go on for days. But anyway,
I love it, Michele. And I wanted to reciprocate. Thank you for the very kind words about hosting. But I wanted to say and point this out that I have never been on a 7-minute segment before. That was the shortest one ever. I've been on TV, and it went 8 minutes. So I had 1 minute more on TV. Okay. And I wanted to reciprocate and say that Michele is the consummate pro. She is extremely engaging, entertaining, riveting, raw, real, edgy, all of it rolled into one. Authentic. That's what encapsulates that whole thing. That's why she's being blocked on different media platforms. We know that this is happening all over the place. Big media is in a weird mode of control that's really horrible. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole at this moment as we're shutting it down. But Michele, I just wanted to thank you for doing what you do. Continue to do it. I hope more and more people listen to support to keep it alive in as many places as will be allowed. And I appreciate you for everything you're doing to help serve others. I can tell that you're a serve others first individual. And I can't wait till Monday and then beyond what we end up collaborating with in the future. So thank you so very much.
Oh, you're welcome. And thank you again. It's been awesome. And I love spending time with you. And there's so much more. So you'll be on the show, and we can take it from there, because you'll be on for like 30 minutes.
Only went over 47 minutes. That's pretty, it's not that bad.
It's supposed to be an hour. Oh.
Yeah, that's a sign of a good show.
Hey, if cut me off, dude, because I can go for days. So just go, Michele, or just click the mute, because we can go on a whole nother topic. It's whatever the peeps want to hear about, and how they can grow their business, enhance the quality of their life, and make a difference, especially in their community. See, I can plug all day, but it's plugging for positivity. It's not even, I'm not plugging my stuff. I'm plugging everybody else that comes on the show. I'm like not even schlepping my own crap. It's like, what are you doing, Michele? You're not even schlepping your own stuff.
Yep. My show is not my business. That's what I live by as well. So thank you, Michele. We're going to cut this. We're going to cut this cord. Stay on once this thing's over, Michele, for just a little bit, if you don't mind. I know we've gone over, but on behalf of this amazing woman, Michele Swinick, I am your host, Brian Kelly of the Mind Body Business Show. Thank you for tuning in to the Mind Body Business Show podcast at www.themindbodybusinessshow.com. My name is Brian Kelly.